So I've got a treat for you guys over the next few days. I'm actually in a marathon, and not a literal running marathon where I'm physically running or anything, but I do what's called a marathon periodically each month. Hey, Brittany, darling, how are you? Where I come on consecutively for a specific number of days and I talk about any given subject. And so we're in a marathon right now. And this one is for 5 days. I did one on yesterday. For those of you who didn't catch it, you can catch it on Facebook. You can go to facebook.com/buildwithtanya. And yesterday's day one of the marathon is there. But for everybody else, guys, I think Periscope is still there as well, but Instagram disappears within 24 hours. Hey, Mikkel, how are you? Thank you for joining. And so our marathon for this week is 5 days, 5 ways to expand and earn more in your salon industry career. If you want to earn more, if you like to hear about earning more, put me in the comments. Like, who doesn't want to hear about that? Jayla, good morning on Periscope. And so you guys see in the title, most of the titles should be pretty much the same on the different platforms, but it says hairstylists and salon owners, are you positioned and priced to profit? Are you positioned and priced to profit? This one is so good. I'm so excited. So we're going to talk about moolah, coin, cheddar cheese, dinero, the Benjamins, whatever you want to call it. We're talking about that today. Brittany says me. And so I'm going to do a quick introduction for those of you who are catching me on the replay. Hey there. Hey, how are you? Thank you for joining. You could be anywhere else other than here with me. So I appreciate you, especially those of you who are joining live who can contribute to the conversation. Thank you for stepping in. 2 favors while I'm doing the broadcast. Guys, if you could share out to another industry professional, that would be great. And throughout the broadcast, if I say something that helps your business or your life in any measure, you get an aha moment, a transformation, or you just want to chime in, be sure and do that in the comments. Tap the screen for hearts. Show me a little love. For those of you who've never been on a live broadcast with me before, and you're like, who is this lady and what's she talking about? I'm Tanya Wilson-Cherry, beauty business consultant and certified life coach. I have a 25 plus year background in the most amazing industry on the planet, the beauty industry, and 10 years as a former salon owner. I operate in a space of consulting and coaching now, where I help hairstylists and salon owners just like yourself create amazing brands and lifestyles that they love. And so what does that look like? I help people to see massive growth in their business. I help them create systems, hey Joy, how are you, in their business that help take them to their next level. I teach from a 3-fold perspective. I talk about mindset, personal development, and business building. I believe that all of those are needed. Thank you for inviting a follower. I appreciate that, dear. I believe that all of those are needed in order to build a profitable business. Like to the measure that you grow personally, that's your habits, your thoughts, things of that nature. That's the measure that your business grows. And so oftentimes people will, kind of skip the personal development, natural essence. Hey there, how are you? They'll skip the mindset and the personal development, and then they'll find themselves in specific seasons in their business where they're like, I don't know what to do. I can't handle this. Or maybe they're not emotionally connected enough to handle what's at the next level. So I help my stylists do just that. I believe that your mind has a lot to do with your money, right? Your mind has a whole lot to do with your money and everything else that you set out to do. So mindset is really, really big for me. It allows me to operate from a transformational space. So many of the stylists who work with me have expanded visions and expanded strategies and expanded incomes by the time we finish putting it down. And so I'm going to talk to you guys about just that on today, expanded incomes. And so are you positioned and priced to profit? Are you positioned and priced to profit? So, one of the things that concerns me as I consult, so I do one-on-one consulting, so people can work with me privately. I do group consulting, 1-day intensive, and then intensives. And then I also have like self-study programs. So when I'm doing like one-on-one consulting, or even in my group programs with hairstylists and salon owners, one of the things that concerns me is when I ask them, like, where do they see themselves in the next year or the next 5 years, or what is their desire? Many say, my desire is to own a successful salon or to have a successful salon career, right? How many of you feel that? I want a successful salon. I want to own a successful salon business. I want a successful salon career. But here's where the problem lies with that being the end all be all to the desire. What does that look like? What does it look like? And oftentimes what happens is many salon professionals, they skip the money. They skip the money. They skip the tangible goals, right? They skip the actual tangible goals in order to make it happen. So, you know, as I was preparing for this broadcast this morning, I got up and I checked one of my streams of income, and that particular stream of income is up by 131% from this month last year. Y'all don't hear me. It's up by 131% from what it was last year. And so I'm going to share with you guys what I did differently, right? And it's so funny because when I owned my salon, I remember feeling like I was doing a lot of stuff, right? Doing a whole lot of stuff, but it didn't feel as if, well, my income wasn't changing, right? How many of you have found yourselves like busy, like you're doing a lot of stuff, you're going to classes, you're posting here, you're marketing, you're trying to you're doing a lot of stuff, but when you really think about it, nothing is really moving or changing. So that's where I found myself at, you know, in the early stages of owning my salon business. And it's so crazy because, you know, some principles, they just roll over into any business. So even as I'm doing my consulting business last year, I was like, man, I'm putting in a lot of work, but I am not reaching the income goals that I desire, right? I'm not reaching the income goals I desire. So this is what I did. I did an ASAP. Somebody put ASAP in the comments. ASAP in the comments. I'm going to tell you what that is. First of all, I became aware. I became aware, guys. That means you got to know where you are. For instance, I told you guys ASAP. Absolutely. I told you guys that I checked, right, to see where I was this month as opposed to where I was this month last year. Now, you guys know that July is normally the slowest month out of the year for many stylists. Hey, Linda, how are you, darling? For many stylists or salon professionals, clients go on vacation, the children are out of school. It's just generally a slower month. And that's not just in our industry. Studies show that most small businesses incur or have a really slow July. And a lot of times what we do is we go ahead and set in our mind that July is just a slow time, right? How many of you have done that? Put a one in the comments where you just say, okay, summer times are a little slower. So what I did, instead of saying summer times are a little slower, I said, okay, what do I need to do differently the months prior? Right, that's what we do, Betty. We say, okay, summer times are just a little slower. You know, it is what it is. But what you can do is become aware of where you are during that time. So remember I told you guys I did what I like to call ASP. ASP, I became aware, right? The second thing I did was I set intentions. That's what S is for. I set intentions. And so a lot of times we don't believe, because we've already said July is just normally a slow month. So in our mind, our belief that July could be just as busy as any other month, it's been canceled out. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. It's been canceled out because we've already, you know, solidified in our heart that July is just a slow month. So the second thing, remember I said I became aware, set intentions. Absolutely. That's the second thing I did. That's the S for ASAP. I set intentions. And so what that looks like is I increased my faith for the month of July. Y'all don't hear me. Listen, you're going to need faith to build your business because you only build to the level that you believe. You only build to the level that you believe. So if you believe that it's possible to have a month that's bigger, my July has been bigger, right? I went up 131% in the month of July this year from what I did last year. So I set my intentions, which is I set my faith for something greater during the month of July, right? And then I began to declare it. I did my I am statements. If you guys follow me, you know I have I am statements. I've even encouraged you guys to create 5 of your own I am statements, 5 of your own. How many of you have followed me before and you've done that? Y'all be taking the stuff that I'm saying for granted. Y'all don't believe. Y'all don't think. Listen, you can only receive from a space that you truly, truly believe. So I need you guys to know that I'm not coming up here just talking. I'm actually giving you guys strategies that you can use that'll help you to see massive growth in your business, right? So I set my intentions for something bigger. The third thing I did, which is A, the next A in ASAP, I aligned fully with strategies that would make it happen. I aligned fully with strategies that would make it happen. Because what you have to know is, if last July was slow and the July before that was slow and the one before, if it's just been slow during the months of July, that means that if you continue to do the same things, you're going to continue to have a slow July. Y'all don't hear me. I see you tapping the screen, Brittany. You're going to continue to have a slow July, right? And so I aligned fully with a new set of strategies. So one of the things I did differently, I got a new coach. I got a new coach that was on a whole nother level, right? So I invested. And then when I say I align fully with new strategies, I took time to say, all of these little things that I'm doing, they're not going to get me to this income goal that I have. Remember, I said I became aware and I set intentions. When you set intentions, align with the strategy fully. Absolutely. When you set intentions, guys, it needs to be a number behind that. See, oftentimes when we say we want to be successful, it has no number. It has no new strategy. There's nothing to align with, right? And so what we're doing is the same thing that we've been doing all the time. And oftentimes it's those little bitty busy things that aren't going to make it happen. So when you set your intentions, you need to put a number on it. You got to put a number on it. So I was on a call recently with a stylist, a salon owner, and she was fully staffed for the place that she had. So it was 6 of them total. She's moving to a new location. She's going to have to, get new stylists in order to, meet the new income goals that she's going to need for that particular space. And I asked her, what's your income goal for the year? She couldn't tell me the number, right? She had the number somewhere, but she couldn't tell me the number. One of the things that tells me, if you can't tell me the number, that you're not working on the strategy that's going to make you hit that number. Y'all don't hear me. We're talking about corn, cheddar, cheese, the Benjamin, the numbers on today, because it's the biggest piece that's missing. So many times, so that was one of the things that tells me, it's like, okay, well, if you don't know the number, then I know that you don't have, and I don't have to say that to them, but I know that you don't have the strategy that's going to get you there, because you got to know the numbers in order to create the strategy. I just dropped a huge money nugget. So many of you want to be successful, but you don't have a number behind that. So remember, I said one of the things that I did differently, I became aware of where I was. I looked at where I was. I set new intentions, right? I aligned my faith. I set a new number, and then I aligned fully by getting new strategies that would actually allow me to do that. So I have a client also that I work with. She does custom earrings. She has like a shea butter product, and she does hair. And so we're creating new income goals. And a lot of times when you guys want to do more, you want to go and do more hair, right? But there's only 24 hours in the day. There's only but so many days that you can actually trade your physical time for dollars. So that often means that you need to look at some other revenue stream that you have and create a strategy where that's going to bring in more income. Yeah, You guys get that? And so many of you as stylists, you may say, well, I just do hair. I don't have another revenue stream. Create one, right? Create one. You can retail. Retail is another revenue stream. It's another way for you to hit new goals in your business. Guys, you pay your salon rent, your booth rent, or your salon mortgage off of your retail alone. Off of your retail alone, guys, right? So you got to know your numbers. You got to set a number first. So when you think about wanting to be successful, what does that number look like for you by the end of 2018? You know, what is that going to look like? So ASAP, the fourth thing that I did, guys, right? The fourth thing that I did, I positioned myself to receive greater. I position myself to receive greater. So what does that look like, Tanya? It looks like I marketed differently, right? I figured out what my profit producing things were. I created my marketing plan so that it would flow around those things. I advertised differently. I told you guys I got another coach that was on an even higher level who could implement strategies and mindset and accountability for me that would keep me aligned in order to hit the goals. You guys get that? So I did ASAP. Many of you need the ASAP. First, you got to become aware. If you don't know, see, many people, they wait until income tax time to look at what they made for the year. But at that point, it's too late, right? That year is gone. It's over with. It's done. And what they do, they stay in the continuous flow of hustling and using the same strategy, you know, the entire time. And then they look to see what they made at the end of the year, right? And so what I call that is reactive. That's someone who's reactive and not proactive. Position myself to receive differently. Absolutely. So a person who is proactive, they create strategies, right? They align fully. They create strategies that are going to allow them to hit those income goals that they desire. And then they position themselves for it instead of just at the end of the year, you say, oh, this is what I made this year. It's almost as if you're saying, I'm just going to wait and see what happens. And that's going to determine my income goal. So I want to ask you guys, how do you reach a goal that you have not set? How do you reach a goal that you have not set? What are the chances that you reach a goal that you have not set? They're very, very slim. Very, very slim. So one of the things we forget to do as stylists or salon industry professionals, we don't put a number on that thing, right? Once you have decided what your number for the year, or from now, July to the end of the year, guys, it's like almost 5 to 6 months. That's almost a whole half of year. You can see massive growth in your salon industry career with the right strategy that you're working on for the next 6 months. It can change the trajectory of, you can get in a new income bracket in a 5 to 6 month time frame. 5 to 6 month time frame. I have a client work with me 3 weeks. Her income increased by 30% in 3 weeks, right? Because she had the right strategy, because she looked at her numbers, because she set her intentions, right? And then she created strategy. Well, not she didn't. I created strategy for her to work on in order to meet those numbers. Even as a stylist behind the chair, when I own my salon, I said, okay, you got to figure this thing out. So I began to set quotas, daily quotas, for whatever it is that I needed. And many of you need to start with the first part of ASAP and become aware. Like, how much have you made profit for this year? How much have you made profit for this year? And then do you have an actual goal, number goal, that you're attempting to reach? And if you look at it and you say, okay, this goal looks a little astronomical in comparison to where I'm actually at. Because you got to be aware. Remember I said the first part of ASAP, as soon as possible, is becoming aware. And that is to know where you are, what your numbers are, what you have or have not done. Because although we're busy, guys, it doesn't mean that we're positioned or priced to profit. Do you guys get that? I told you guys I was busy last year, like really, really busy. And I was like, man, you know, I don't desire to work at this capacity And what I'm doing is not actually going to help me meet my income goals. Betty says, great class. Awesome, Betty. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. This is not going to allow me to meet my income goals. So I need to shift and do something differently. And this is where most stylists, they won't do this. Because shifting means you got to sit down. Lord have mercy. Shifting means that you got to get from behind the chair long enough to sit down and work on your business and not in your business. And many salon professionals are in survival mode. They're not in faith. Remember I said the second part of ASAP was set my intentions. That means I up-leveled my faith. I made my declarations. I said my I ams and I set a number. Strands of integrity. Hey dear, how are you? And I set a number, right? But many stylists won't get out of their routine of trading dollars for hours long enough to really look at their business and do a different strategy, right? It's called working on the business and not in the business. And the more you work on the business, the less you have to work in it, because 80% of your success is in your planning, it's in your mindset, it's in your strategies. And only 20% is in the work that you're doing, in implementing those strategies and things that you come up with. So many stylists, they won't sit down long enough. It's like a fear, like if I stop doing this for a moment, but you're going to have faith enough to know that as I'm taking these moments of rest, I like to call it rest, to actually work on my business, I've already set my faith and my intentions, then what I need is going to transpire while I'm getting the information that I need to make it happen, right? So you got to know your numbers, guys. You got to know your numbers. You can't, this is not something that you can move around if you're wanting to see growth in your business. So I did a course called Get Your Money, Get Your Life. And that course is a budgeting and a basic budgeting and financial freedom course. And so budgeting is not about living this really restricted life. It's actually about having a future. That's what budgeting really is. It's not about all of these restrictions. It's about being aware, becoming aware of where you are so that you can create strategies that will actually take you where you need to go, right? So I'm going to give you guys some examples, and that Get Your Money, Get Your Life course, I put it in almost every course I have. So it's a bonus course inside my Mind Your Business Beauty Camp, which is a membership site that I have for hairstylists and salon owners, where they look at video trainings. They have 24/7 access to marketing, business building, resources, things on pricing and salon promotions, trainings, where they can actually take the time and work on their business. And then they also get an opportunity to coach with me once a month, right, inside that Mind Your Business Beauty Camp. But that Get Your Money, Get Your Life course is in there. So here's some things that setting goals, knowing your numbers, being aware will do for your business. First of all, it gives you direction on what tools and systems you need. If you're not aware about where you are, then you could never know what it is that you need for the next level. Do you guys get that? You guys get that? So Nicole says, what do you think about tier pricing? I don't believe I can increase prices for each stylist according to skill set. So one of the things I did when I owned a salon, I had junior stylists, master stylists, senior stylists. And so they were positioned according to their skill set, right? Not necessarily even how many years they've been in the industry, although I did require, if they just started out, no matter how good they were, that they started off in the junior stylist programming, simply because there were some things that I trained them on under that, position that helped them. So I think that tier pricing definitely can work for a business. It also deals with your brand, right? Because your brand has a whole lot to do with your pricing. And I say that because if you are a very upscale salon, then some wealthy people look at cheaper prices as if something is wrong. Do you guys get that? Tap the screen. Y'all tap the screen. And even if you aren't wealthy, you know, whatever position you're in, you know, if we see something that the value is normally $2,000 and it's only 19.99, right? Then if we don't know the person, if we don't know the person who's offering it, we might think, oh, that's probably not going to work for me. I don't know how long that's going to last, right? And so when I say, are you positioned and priced to profit, some of you are priced too low, right? You're actually not attracting customers that would be ideal for your business. So another module inside the Mind Your Business Beauty Camp, there's a pricing module. So it allows you to put your numbers in so that you can become aware, that first part of ASAP, so that you can become aware and see, like, this is really how much I'm making an hour. Like, all this work I'm doing, when I subtract this from this, I'm actually only at like $10 an hour. Now, what that awareness does, right, that's not a bad thing, because the greatest thing that you can do is become aware. You can't solve a problem that you're not aware of, right? It's the first step problem, children, right? So once you see this, you can then say, okay, what is it that I need to do in order to earn more? And see, I shared earlier, for those of you who are just joining, sometimes earning more is not necessarily about you doing more hair as a stylist, because we have several revenue streams that are easily accessible to us that will allow us to create more revenue, right? Because your retailing is a huge one. You're doing a disservice if you're not retailing, you know, to your clients, guys, because studies show that clients have 1 to 4 products under their cabinet every single day, whether they're getting it from their stylist or not, right? Whether they're getting it from you or not, they're getting, you know, products. And a lot of times when you aren't retailing, it actually sends them somewhere else. Maybe another stylist has a great consultation with them that they're impressed by, and boom, you know, they're in another stylist chair. So there are a lot of benefits to retailing. I'm actually, one of our 5-day marathons is going to be, one of our days for our 5 days, 5 ways is going to be on retailing. So you guys stay close. I'm probably going to broadcast tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So another thing that being aware does, right, and having a plan, it dictates how much you need to make, right? When you become aware, you now know what you need to make, right? Instead of it being this guessing game or this hoping game or this waiting game, you know, right? We can't fix something that we're not aware about. So another thing, different financial goals require different strategies. It's just what it is. If you're looking to increase your salon revenue by $50,000 this year, you need a new strategy. Because if not, the strategy that you are currently doing, it would work. You guys get that, right? So new income goals need new strategies. So a lot of times with my clients, a lot of times with my clients, because I want them to work smarter and not harder, we create strategies from other revenue streams, or we find out what they can do, what they can focus on that's the biggest profit producing thing. And then we focus on creating a strategy for that, including how they're going to market it, how often they're going to market that particular thing to get more people in for, you know, those particular things. So we create strategies so that they're not necessarily working harder, they're working smarter, right? You guys get that? But you gotta know your numbers, guys. For those of you, if you don't know your numbers, if you're like, I don't know my numbers, I know I need to budget. Remember I said budget is not living like a hermit. Budget is where you're preparing for the future. You're able to see where you're at. You can set intentions where you have goals for your marketing, goals for your personal life, goals for your business, and goals for your education. Guys, each year I sit down and I say, okay, I want to attend 6 different educational classes throughout the year, whether it's skill set, personal development, mindset, whatever. And then I set how much, around about how much I think that's going to cost me. Now that I know that I want to do those things, that helps me to set my income goals for the year. Do you guys get that? You guys get that? Tap the screen if you guys are rocking with me on that this morning. So for those of you who don't know your pricing, you need to be more aware on your numbers. I invite you to join me inside the Mind Your Business Beauty Camp. It's only $39 to join. You can join now at $39.99. You get 24/7 access, so there's no excuse about, I don't have time to work on my business. You can join it and access it 2 o'clock in the morning if you want to. You also get to coach with me once a month. So if you're going through a module and you're like, I need a little help on this, I'm there to support you as well. You also are in a community with other forward-thinking stylists. For those of you who know, like, I need to know my numbers. That's the first thing now. I need to budget differently. But outside of that, it's 12 modules. It's marketing, video marketing, email marketing, social media marketing. So there are multiple modules for you inside that membership site. And you can go to renewfullcircle.com/MYB membership. I'll put it in the comments. renewfullcircle.com/MYB membership. I think I spelled that right. And so the price does go back up in a few days for that membership price. Or for those of you who are saying, I want to do this for the whole year, I could use the accountability for the year. I'd like to be able to have my business looked at for the entire year. You can actually join for only $347 for the whole year. You save $250. That's about 5 months free. So these promotional opportunities in a few days, I think maybe 3 or 4 days, to be able to get these particular rates. But if you do monthly, it's $39.99 for the first month, and then your recurring months are $49.99 a month. So for $50, it's like eating out, right? The exchange is incredible for the value of that particular opportunity. And so it's just a matter of, becoming aware and fully aligning yourself with whatever it is you need for the next level. So, having goals, actual goals, setting intentions, it keeps you focused, guys. It keeps you focused. I was telling you guys, I looked at my numbers this morning from last year. I'm up 131% for the month of July, right? That keeps me focused. It means that, okay, no matter what it feels like, what you switched and did, the strategy is working. Do you guys get that? Because sometimes it doesn't always feel like it's working until we measure it. Something may feel different because your finances, your freedom in your finances and things like that may feel different, especially if you went from nothing to I'm smashing it, right? But sometimes if it's gradual growth, you may not always notice it, but when you can go back and measure and look at your numbers, you can say, hey, this is working, or hey, this ain't working. Right? You can be honest and real with yourself where you're not having to look up at the end of the year and be like, man, what in the world happened in 2018? And see, this is why every year starts looking the same, because we don't do the ASAP. We're not aware. We haven't set intentions where we actually have a number higher than where we actually are, because we're not aware of where we are. We haven't aligned fully with the strategies, right? Setting intentions is also the faith, right? But aligning fully with new strategies, and then positioning yourself through your marketing and your advertising and what you're actually going to do to make it happen in order to receive. So another thing that transpires when you actually position yourself and your price to profit, it gives you fulfillment, right? Because it's like, yes, I'm hitting those goals, and you need a measure of fulfillment in order to expand. This week, we're talking about how to expand more and earn more. The fulfillment of, hey, I'm smashing it, this is working, it gives you that extra mojo that you need for next level, guys, because many people get burned out because what they're doing, one, is cyclic. It's cyclic, and ultimately it's not what they desire. So all of us, scripture says hope deferred makes the heart sick, right? So all the hopes and things that you have, it gets deferred. It makes you feel sick because it's not working. But you got to get aware. You got to get aware, guys. And then you got to be willing to do the work. You got to be willing to work on the business and not just in the business, guys. I was speaking with a stylist who was saying, well, when things get better, I'm going to do this. But logically, they don't get better without new strategies. They don't get better without new strategies. It doesn't like just happen. So many wait on opportunity instead of creating it. So what I did in my ASAP, I created an opportunity. I wasn't waiting and saying, okay, well, next July it's just gone magically. And I believe in the supernatural, right? But I believe a huge part of the supernatural is our faith and our belief. And faith is always followed by action, guys. It's not real faith if there's no action behind what you say you believe. It's not real faith, right? So that's how the supernatural actually occurs in our lives. God puts his super to our natural, the natural things that we're doing that we're putting in place. He puts his super on that. But many people wait for opportunity instead of creating it, right? So what you're basically doing is saying, I'm going to let happen chance. I'm going to let economy. I'm going to let whatever people feel like doing determine whether or not I make it in my business, instead of saying I'm going to become an active participant, because nobody else is going to participate on the measure that I do for my business. I'm going to stand up and align fully with what I say I desire, right? I'm going to not just be or do, I'm going to do and be what's necessary to move my business to the next level. That's what I did. I did the ASAP. I said, okay, look, I'm doing too much not to be earning more. What needs to change, right? Let me become aware of where I'm at, and now I can set new intentions, right, and get new strategies in order to make that happen. So another thing that happens is when you have goals, when you know your numbers, it helps, and what you're trying to reach, the actual goal you're trying to reach. And thank you for sharing some. It helps you with your marketing, guys, right? Because now that I'm aware that what I was doing wasn't working, and now that I have a new strategy, if you don't have a new strategy, this is why you need to be in the Mind Your Business Beauty Camp, right? Because you can watch the trainings and look to see where you are. You can implement some things, and then you can connect with me, and I can coach you through it, once a month on whatever it is that you're struggling with, right? You may need a strategy for implementing some of the things that you've learned about marketing or your numbers in your business. So it helps you with your marketing. So what would that coaching time with me once a month look like? If you are doing the trainings and you see an area that you need help on and you ask me a question, then I give you the strategy. I coach you through making it happen, right? Many people are able to watch the trainings and implement them and see results, within a day or two of what they're implementing. But for some, they may need a little more, help, and I'm there to support them in that measure. So it also helps you with your promotion. So many people feel that cheap means butts in seats, but cheap often means that I'm going to work harder. I'm going to feel like I'm extremely busy. And at the end of the year, my numbers are going to actually be lower than what they were before. That's what cheap normally means, especially when you don't know your numbers. You don't know what you're making, because once you know what you're making, and then you've had a chance to assess your expenses, you know what you need to make. And then you set goals above that, and then you get the strategy that's going to make it happen. Guys, I work less now than I did last year. I'm not doing nearly as much of the little busy stuff. I actually used to broadcast 4 to 5 times every week last year. Now, I would do the marathons like I'm doing now. I now broadcast twice a week. I do live broadcasts twice a week, which is a revenue producing item in my business and my marketing, because video converts, quicker, because people have an opportunity to get to know, like, and trust you on a quicker rate when you are doing video for your business. And I actually have a training on video marketing inside the Mind Your Business Beauty Camp. So it helps you with your promotions. Cheap doesn't mean butts and seats. There's actually an entire module on 15 things you need to know about promotionals. It's going to help you decide when, how much, or I don't necessarily need to charge cheaper. I need to promote it differently, right? So cheap doesn't mean butts and seats. So if you want a bigger goal, you're going to need a new strategy. And it's not always you doing more hair, guys. That's just not always the case. I have stylists earning 6 figures that have worked with me who work 3 days a week, right? It's based on the strategy. So I want to challenge you guys to take the time, one, to invest in your business, right? Many say when you got to wonder, like at this stage, even at the regular $49.99 a month cost, if that is not affordable to you at this stage in your business, you have to know something isn't working. It's $50. You got to know. I mean, you have to be realistic to yourself and say, if I can't afford to invest $50 a month on getting new information for my business, I need it more than anyone else. I need to figure out what meal I can skip eating out or whatever it is, right? And sometimes you figure it out as you go. You say, okay, I did what I needed to do for this month, which would only be $39.99, right? In order to get that information. What do I need to do next month when it's going to be $49.99 so that I can pay that and get more information and increase more? And if you are serious and you get inside the membership site and you actually apply it like you're supposed to, right? Like you should for yourself, because you're investing in your business, you'll create the money. You'll create the money for the next month, right? And so remember I said that our habits build our business. Our habits build our business. If you enter the membership site and you don't get value out of it, it's because you haven't put in the work, right? And many times it's because we're operating, remember I said, in fear, where we're consistent in our routine behind the chair, but not taking out the time to work on the business. So I want to ask you guys today, are you positioned and priced to profit, to actually profit? Are you positioned and priced to actually profit? And will you take the time, one, to invest in your business, two, to not spend so much time that you can't work on your business, because working on your business gives you the strategies for massive growth, right? Because the strategy of just, doing hair is going to remain wherever you're at now, then it remains right there. So here's some things that positioning yourself and your prices and setting an intention and goals does for you. Gives you direction on what tools and systems you need. You don't need everything when you figure out what the goal is that you're trying to reach, and then you know the strategy. You don't need everything, right? Two, it dictates how much you need to make. It's you're honest with yourself. You're like, okay, I'm not hitting the goal. I need to maybe align even more, right? I maybe need to set my intentions and say, I am going to be more visible on my business page on Facebook. I am going to get the information to be able to market to my target market or my demographic. That's what being aware does, guys. It gives you a level of honesty about what you need to do next. It keeps you focused. If you know that these are the profit producing things, this is the strategy that I'm working on, then it's not 50 other things that are keeping you unfocused that you're grabbing at all the time, because this is the strategy that I'm working on that's going to produce the profits that I actually need. And so it simplifies your life. When you have a set intention, a number, right? A price, money, moolah, goal, financial, cheese, coin, right? It simplifies your focus. Simplifies your focus. It gives you fulfillment, because as you see yourself growing and you're measuring and you're aware, remember you're doing the ASAP. All throughout you should be doing the ASAP. Becoming aware, setting your intentions, that's your faith, your I am, and how much you actually want to make in your business, the number. Success is not a strategy. I want to be successful in my business is not a strategy. Somebody tap the screen. Hey V, how are you, dear? Somebody hit the screen. I want to be successful in my salon industry career is not a strategy. Somebody put it in the comments. I want to be successful in my salon career is not a strategy. It's just not a strategy, right? It helps you with your marketing, your promotions. It just does, guys, right? So I'm asking you, are you positioned to profit, right? Are you positioned and priced to profit? And if you can't answer the question, I invite you to join me inside my Mind Your Business Beauty Camp. I've actually put the link in the comments on Facebook. So for those of you who are on Periscope and Instagram who wish to join us, you can access it now. I'm doing a promotion. There's actually a module in there on promotions. It's only $39.99 to join. You get full access to the membership site for the entire month. There's a recurring fee of $49.99 monthly. I told you guys before, if you can't afford $49.99 a month to invest in your business, you have to know there's an issue. And you know that you have to figure a way to be able to afford it, to get the information you need so that when it's time to invest in your business, is not an issue. $49, guys, it's not a lot for a stylist, right? And if it's something that you can't afford, then you have to know there's an issue, you know, that help is needed on. We just got to be aware. So Brittany says, I want to be successful in my salon career. It's not a strategy. Nope, it's not. Hey, V said, I want to be successful in my salon career is not a strategy. Absolutely, it's not, guys. So I invite you guys to join me. You can go to two links, bit.ly/MYB membership, whichever is easier for you guys, bit.ly/MYB membership, or you can go to renewfullcircle.com/MYB membership, renewfullcircle.com/MYB membership. You may want to join for the entire year. You say, hey, I know I could use the yearly modules, trainings, and the added coaching. You can join for only $347. It gives you access for an entire 12 months. You save $250 doing it that way. You get about 5 months free. That's part of the promotional, but this, I think it's Friday, Saturday, I can't remember, but the promotional ends soon, so it won't be at that particular rate that it is now. So who knows, who can answer the question about being positioned and priced to profit? If you don't know whether or not you're positioned and priced to profit, I invite you to join us. You won't regret it. It'll help you. We have a group of other salon owners and hairstylists that you can connect with. The accountability and community is always amazing. It always up levels what we're doing, and it keeps us steady. But it is for those of you who are fully committed to your next level of growth. The trainings are self-taught, so you go through the trainings and modules on your own. I'm not holding your hand. I'm not babysitting you. However, as you run into something that you need help with, I do support you. So once a month, I coach with you live, where you can ask me any questions that you may be facing while you're going through the different trainings. Are there any questions on this morning? Remember, I said many wait on opportunity instead of creating it, right? And then at the end of the year, everything kind of looks the same, or we found ourselves all over the place. It's the recipe for burnout. It's the recipe for burnout. You guys have any questions for me? Let me make sure I didn't miss any. I know Nicole had one earlier that I answered. Nicole says I'm too low. Okay. Okay. So if you guys have no more questions, that's my thought for you today. Are you positioned and priced to profit? And two, do you have an actual number goal? Not I want to be successful. Do you actually have a number goal that you like to meet for your business? And then do you have the strategy? Have you devised the strategy that's going to make it happen for you? So ASAP, right, is what I did. My income has increased 131% for the month of July, which is normally the slowest month in the year from what it was last year, right? I did the ASAP. I became aware. I said, hey, I'm doing too much busy stuff. I'm not earning what I want to earn for all of this work that I'm doing, right? So I became aware and I figured out, I said, okay, where am I? What am I actually making? And what am I doing, right? And then I set new intentions. Right? I up-leveled my faith. I made some new declarations. I made some new I am statements, and I put a new number down, children. I put a new income goal, revenue goal down, right? And I aligned my faith with it. The next thing I did, I aligned fully with that number, with those things that I was declaring and I was wanting. I didn't say, oh, I just want to earn more, right? I put a number on it. I set some intentions with new strategies, and then I align fully with those new strategies, right? And what you do when you're aligning fully, you're saying, okay, this is what I need to do in order to create this. And each month I need to do this. This is my daily thing. And then how do I align myself fully with it? So the next thing I did, I positioned myself to receive it, right? And that came through my marketing, my advertising. I actually created things because some of you don't have the systems in place that would even bring in the revenue. So some of you, your only stream of revenue may simply be you doing hair, which may mean that 6-figure plus goal that you have would cause you to burn out before you could actually make it happen. So another thing I did, I created new opportunities to earn, more revenue. I created new streams in my business, right? Well, I had created it already, but I aligned fully with it, and I began to enroll people into that opportunity, which made me have to operate at a new level of faith because the investment, I just didn't think people would invest on that level, but really it was just me. I knew that I would have to align at another level. I'd have to do more, be more, show up from a higher version of myself. And so for some of you, being positioned is about showing up at a higher version of yourself, right? It's about saying, I'm going to make the time to work on my business. That's operating at a higher version of yourself. If you guys get that, put me in the comments, right? Showing up differently for your business is operating at a higher version of yourself. Working on your business instead of just in your business, because you can do that, right? Many of you have been trained to do that. You've taken skill set courses. You can do that, right? But working on your business requires a new version of you because it's not something that you really feel like taking the time to do. You've convinced yourself that it's too much. Maybe it doesn't take that, or I don't understand technology, but the highest version of yourself doesn't talk about what they can't do. It says, I know that I can do this if I put my hands to it. I can figure this out, right? I can align with someone. I can get someone to show me how, right? That's what aligning with the highest version of yourself. Sometimes we think the highest version of ourselves is, I'm going to be fly all the time, and I'm going to be talking about my 6-figure goals, and I'm going to be speaking faith, but it's about aligning with it. That's what operating at the highest version of yourself is. It's when you say, okay, I know I need to do this. I'm going to stop playing around. And if it requires more of me to do it, then I'm going to do it because I know that operating at the highest version of myself may require more from me in that area, but it's not going to require more from me in other areas. Therefore, I'm creating more harmony. I'm earning more. I'm expanding. Remember, our marathon is about how to expand and earn more in your salon careers. That's what operating at the highest version of yourself does. It eliminates excuses. It finds a way. That's what operating at the highest version does. It's like, okay, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make this happen. Are there any questions for me this morning before we log off? V says me. Brittany says me. Linda says me. Awesome. So guys, I will see you guys on tomorrow. I'm going to do 11:30 tomorrow, right? Because today I had to do 9:30 because I had something to do at 11:30. But for day 3, I'll be on at 11:30. If you guys got something from the broadcast, Tap the screen for hearts. Show me a little love on the way out of the broadcast. It's not too late. You can still share it with another industry professional. And for those of you who are saying, I really can't answer the question of whether or not I'm positioned in price to profit, I invite you to join me inside the Mind Your Business Beauty Camp for hairstylists and salon owners. It's a business building resource that gives you 24/7 access to marketing and business building trainings that you can use for your business. For a short time, it's only $39.99. You can join today, get full access, or $347 for the entire year. You save $250 if you paid for the yearly rate. So, guys, that is my take for you this morning. That link is renewfullcircle.com/MYB membership. renewfullcircle.com/MYB membership. You get to coach with me once a month, guys, so we can really strategize on you seeing massive growth in your business. You'd be amazed at what you could do in just these next, July, August, September, October, November, these next 5 months, right? It can change the trajectory of your business, right? It can put you in a new income bracket if you're working on the right strategies. I appreciate you guys so much. I will see you on tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday for day 3 of 5 days, 5 ways to expand and earn more in your salon industry career. Have an amazing day. Peace.